conviction overturned.
Delay in a case, be it court of appeal or trial court, is constitutionally protected issue, and therefore we are bordering on this delay becoming almost offensive.
Bert Samuels, a key player in the legal team representing Storm and the cartel, zeroes in on what he believes taints the original trial.
The first point is that the phone evidence, which was brought by the prosecution, puts Sean Storm in St. Catherine when this thing is supposed to have been happening. And the next thing is that the juror who is alleged to have been trying to bribe persons was allowed to sit and deliberate with the other jurors. And there's something called the poisoning of the jury, and that principle is well established in law. So those two issues.
Return like the prodigal son, I'm unpredictable like that. You know, the longer the court takes to deliver a decision is the more people become kind of skeptical that the outcome for Cartel and Sean Storm will be positive.
Well, you know, you'd say if I'm waiting this long, I better have a live birth. And so therefore, we're kind of saying to ourselves, yes, optimism reigns on the defense. And, so we've been looking for the clients and they're upbeat, but they're kind of frustrated. And we're hoping that the results will come in their favor. Of course, there are three possible results. One could be that the conviction is upheld, which we are throwing out through the window. The other is that the appeal is allowed, and whether now the issue of retrial or that they walk free.
Cartel has a mystique. Cartel is also feared to some extent, I think reasonably, by the establishment in Jamaica. Do those factors come into play?
Well, I guess politicians would love to have some of that. So, aren't we all? I'd like to be followed by many. My followers, I hope, will increase. But for what reason? But we don't want, and that's part of what we had. We said that there should be no retrial because there's so much, poison out there against the accused, which would not give them a fair trial. And you're just enunciating the very fears we had about a retrial.
But it comes down to, why is it taking so long?
I've written about it, I've spoken about the delays in the system. And we had 5,653 pages of evidence to go over. And so the court is consumed with this case. It is about 20 times the size of the normal appeal. So maybe there could be some justification for the length of time it's taking.
You feel brave now, get you if you're afraid.
Right now, you see me little machine on me, I eh? I latest cartel that me a play right now.
You feel brave now, get you if you're afraid. That's hardly any consolation for Cartel and company, arrested in 2011 and convicted in 2014. But Cartel music still flooding the airwaves, and his rock-solid fan base eager for any news or glimpse of their incarcerated hero. News, for instance, about his health. People make mention of him having some health issues. Would Cartel's appearance, his demeanor, would it shock people?
If he hears not guilty now, it will be the same Cartel walking out.
But answer the question.
The answer to the question that when we sit around the desk, I'm not able to see his physical, being. Well, I just know that he's a very...
So what are you focused on then? A spiritual aura?
I'm focusing on his instructions and getting it out because, Cartel is a very positive person. He's made some changes, I know. I'm not seeing much of the bleaching, and he and I have had issues with that.
Is he thinner? Has he put on weight? Does he look ill?
He has lost some weight, and isn't that also a compelling reason why the man needs to know what's happening?
In the meantime, Cartel is spending a lot of money on his appeal. He's having to spend a whole pile of money because you don't come cheap. Everybody knows that.
You seem to know more than I. I work for justice. I have not checked with the accounts department in my office where the fees were even paid in this matter. I go out for justice.
But whichever way the pendulum swings, a payday on the horizon for vybzkater. HBO among the many awaiting the outcome of the appeal. Bert Samuels approached by the cable giant for advance notice of the decision. How has HBO pitched it to you? What would they want from you? What's the look of what it is they want to put together?
It seems to me that they have discovered that vybzkater is a popular person, and among young people in particular.
The kids just love me from a realness.
And therefore, they want to be here. They want me to tell them. They want to be here 2 days ahead of time. And I suspect they're going to go to the gates of the penal institution with the hope that they are being released. And that will make a big story for them. I mean, we can't discount the value of Cartel for Jamaica, and the fact that his notoriety goes in the four corners of the earth.
Because Dodos is on Netflix. He's a part of an ongoing documentary series, and he's been focused on also.
You're talking about a convict. Why are you mixing it up with people?
Well, Cartel is not a convict.
Oh, he's an appellant. At the moment, he's an
But he was also convicted of murder.
Convicted, and that will always be was.
But if you were to comply, if you were to submit for a sound interview, an interview, and to line up what you could line up, you would expect to be paid.
Oh, certainly. Anthony Miller pays me handsomely, so I expect HBO to do much better than you.
Bert Samuels taking on certain notoriety of his own through that of many of his clients. Controversial cases, his bread and butter. Some people are going to focus on you in a negative light based on the people that you choose to defend.
Yeah, and that happens very often until their friends, relatives, mothers, sisters, brothers get in trouble, then they embrace me. It might have been a calling, but I just find myself in these cases and they come for me, so.
And on some level, you enjoy it. You like the notoriety. You embrace it.
It's the vanity of victory.
Even Cartel's keenest fans on certain of the DJ getting a retrial, much less walking. But the streets emotional about the world boss.
vybzkater have a lot of influence on the youth. By now we should hear whether or not before the year end. Don't you think him have a family? Of course he want to spend Christmas with him family.
And you think it would be a good or bad look on the government if he's to be released right now?
All right, now it would be a good look on the government. Because a matter of fact, the government will probably that with the next election if Cartel free right now.
Why one bread so dear? That the government have to deal with, brother. And the cartel thing, you see me? So you don't know how this thing there, brother. The court have to deal with that. And the court is here to split justice for everybody.
Boy, I want to talk something, you see, brother, but I can't talk something. Look how much thing go on in our way. One man get $1,000 cake, $1,000 cake. Then what are them there? What you hear about it? The only thing that man say, he resign. Tell me, brother, how much it costs the country? How much it costs the country? Cartel thing costs the country now. Tell me, brother, man.
No, right now it should have got through fully. Some of them not give him a chance, some of them know. And him still a release music, so I'm never there road, same way to do that.
The man for their road. This is what I deal with him for their road, man.
No, it's team for go on right now. And I'm here say, yo, Cartel come by a man and the whole Jamaica lift up. Just listen to the teacher.
From jail and him still get #1 songs and all of them things there. Yeah, man, it's a good look. But you know, the new generation are going to come take over still, which is 6. But I feel say vybzkater still have a say in the street.
Cartel's 2014 murder conviction not seeming to dampen his popularity on the Jamaican street, but his fate right now resting outside the court of public opinion.
Hello, Moto. How you feel have a girl if you don't have a phone? She give you the number. You know no phone, she would have called for the... But you don't have a phone. Hurry up and go home to your comfort. Me call Kim on the T-Mobile. No, forget the... Keisha call the Verizon. Can you hear me now?